Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's sewing tutorial, I'm going to be showing y'all how I made this tube top and this long midi pencil skirt. So let's get started. So of course I used the pencil skirt that I already have, and I have this tracing wheel, and I basically just extended the length of the skirt. So everything is the same exact size of the skirt that I have, but I just extended it so it can be a little bit longer. So I just made it as long as I preferred it, and I'm using this tracing wheel to trace around the skirt, which I feel like is actually a lot better than using, like, fabric chalk or a fabric pencil or anything like that. It actually works for me, so I actually like using the tracing wheel. So that is what I am doing here. And I do have my fabric folded in half, so I will be cutting out 2 pieces, front and back, for the pencil skirt. So this is what it looks like as far as the tracing wheel goes. So as you can see, it's not like a rotary cut or anything like that, but you can actually see the lines of where I need to cut, surprisingly. This is actually like my first time actually using the tracing wheel, so I was quite surprised that you can actually see it. And then I'm just going to cut it out. And like I said, I'm going to cut out 2 pieces, so I will have a front and a back. And so I did make the legs of the skirt a little bit more slimmer than the waist, just so it can be fitted around the legs as well. So there's my cutout piece there. So now we're going to work on the tube top. So what I did as far as the measurements for the tube top is I measured around the top bust, and since it's folded in half, I'm going to divide that by 4. So that's what I did there. So to get my measurement for the front and back pieces, and then I measured how long I wanted it to be, and then I measured like around my belly button or waist area, and I used my tracing wheel to make that measurement as well. Hopefully that's making sense, you guys. And then you will see me here connecting both of the measurements from the bust and the waist measurement, I guess. And if you want, you can actually just make a straight square. It doesn't have to be like mine, to where I had it to where it fits the bust area and like my stomach area. If you want it, if whatever you want, you can actually make it like a regular square. It doesn't have to be slanted or anything like that, like what I'm doing here. And then as you can see, that's the shape that I need to cut out. So again, measure your top bust and then measure your waist area, and get those 2 measurements along with how long you want your shirt to be. But if you don't feel like doing all of that, you can actually just make a square and make sure that you make it as long or as short you want it. Like I said, it doesn't have to be slanted like I made it, but usually I make just like a straight square as far as my tube top. But as you can see here, I'm cutting it out twice. So again, I will have my front and back pieces just like I did the skirt. And then I'm just cutting that piece out. A little bit of it is cut out because I zoomed in on the video. Here are my 2 pieces of my pencil skirt, my front and back pieces. And then here is my front and back pieces of my tube top. and they are folded in half. So for my tube top, like I said, you want to measure around your bust, waist area, and since it's folded in half, you want to divide it by 4 because you're going to be cutting it out twice. And so I'm taking my pencil skirt patterns, and of course I'm going to put right sides together. There's actually no right and wrong side on the pencil skirt, so as long as you have matching sides front and back, you should be okay. So of course here I'm taking some clips or some pins, and I am pinning the sides together. Once both sides are pinned together, I'm actually going to take it to my serger, and I'm going to serge both sides down. If you don't have a serger, you can use a straight stitch or an overcast stitch or a zigzag stitch. And now I am about to put right sides together for my tube top. And then of course I'm going to pin those together just like I did the pencil skirt. And then again I'm going to take it to my serger and serge both sides together. If you don't have a serger, for this part of it you can use a straight stitch, zigzag stitch, overcast stitch, whatever you prefer. Just as long as you're not, like, if you are sewing across the fabric like horizontally, then you would not use a straight stitch. Not for like a knitted stretch fabric, because it will be stiff. So if you're sewing straight down vertically, you can use a straight stitch. But yeah, have both sides pinned together. So I'm just going to take to my machine and sew them together. Now that I have my pencil skirt sewn, it is time to hem the waistband and the legs of the skirt, or hem the bottom of the skirt, whatever you prefer. And then I'm gonna pin or put 2 pins onto the skirt at the waistband, because I'm going to sew around it, but I'm going to leave a gap open because I need to be able to put my elastic through. So I'm gonna sew around it, the waistband, but I'm not gonna sew where those 2 pins are. And then I'm gonna sew all the way around the bottom of the skirt. And then the same exact thing for my tube top. I'm gonna hem the top, and I'm gonna hem the bottom of the shirt. And you can make the hem as skinny or as wide as you want. And I'm going to sew those. So when it comes to the hemming though, make sure that you use a zigzag, overcast stitch, or something like that. So I have my elastic, and I'm taking a safety pin. You want to put a safety pin on one end of the elastic, and then that little gap that we left open, we're going to feed it through that elastic casing that we made for the waistband. So as you see here, I'm feeding it through. That safety pin is going to help guide the elastic through. So I'm going to put it through, scrunch it together, and then kind of keep scrunching it and pulling it as I feed it through. Once I have both ends out of the elastic, I'm going to overlap a small portion of the elastic and I'm going to stitch that together. Or you can tie it like a bow or a knot. Once that's done, I am going to just pull the fabric so that the elastic is all the way in. And as you can see, it's a little scrunched at the waistband, which is what we want. And of course, I'm going to take it back to my sewing machine. And I'm going to sew that little gap that we left open. I'm going to sew that closed. So here is the final product of my tube top and midi pencil skirt. Super easy, doesn't take much at all. I love the color. It's like a light periwinkle type color, very fitted. But hopefully you guys were able to follow the tutorial. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and I will have much more videos for you guys. Bye.